Hi friends, I am Dr. Sanjay Pandit Kamble, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Yashwantrao Chavan KMC College, Kolhapur. Today I am here with you. I am going to teach you, I am going to discuss with you a very interesting kind of poem written by, or you can say that composed by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. The title of this poem is Songs of Youth. This is from model number 4B. We already finished model number 4A, and today we are going to discuss, or we are here, or I am here to share my experiences with you. I have chosen this platform purposefully because we are not getting a chance to meet in the classroom. So that I have chosen this platform. Through this platform, through this stage, we are communicating each other. Again, I am appealing to you, or I appeal to you, that if there are any doubts, queries regarding the syllabus, regarding the topic which we are going to discuss here, so please watch my entire video and please give the comments, please give the suggestions that can help me to improve my teaching. Not only teaching, I can change my learning ways. So, with this intention, with this purpose, I am here to communicate with you. It is a very beautiful poem composed by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. I'm going to discuss with you about a small information or little bit information about Abdul Kalam, and then we will start the poem. The title of this poem is Songs of Youth. Who is youth? How we can define the youth? Just start from the word youth. The youth, technically, or you can say that the word youth is called as, you can say that, age group between 18 to 35. So this is what the youth. And India is the largest country, biggest country in the world, where there is the second number of populations in the world. And in this world population, largest, most people, they are young, they are youth. And this is what the credit of our nation, which we have to take the benefit. And if the youth, if the young people, they are ignited, they are given power, they are empowered, then there is, you can say that, possibility of transforming India into a powerful nation. So it is our duty, the duty of teacher, the duty of scientist, the duty of politician, that the young people, the youth, they should be given the proper guidance, they should be given proper kind of training for the development of the nation, for the development of their personality. So this is what the youth. Abdul Kalam is a visionary man who had his vision. He wanted to see the India as a powerful nation in the world, and for that purpose, whatever he dreamed, whatever he you can say that seen in his dream, he fulfilled all his desires because of his efforts. So effort can grow plant on, even on the rock, it is said. Effort can grow plant even on the rock. In Marathi we can say that, प्रयत्नाने वाळूचे कण रगडिता तेलही गळे. So this is what the vision of APJ Abdul Kalam. Let us see who is Abdul Kalam. The original name of Abdul Kalam is Aul Pakir Janaluddin Abdul Kalam, who was born in 1931 and who recently, after 5 years, before 5 years, he died in 2015, was born in Rameshwaram. Rameshwaram is a place which is located in Tamil Nadu. He studied physics and aerospace engineering and became a scientist. In those days, to study physics and aerospace was a very difficult task for him, because he belongs to a very poor community, poor family. His economic background was not so sound, so good. But beside that, he had not stopped his effort. Because of his dream, because of his will, because of his vision, he became the president of India. He worked on the important positions, prestigious government institutions like Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO. And even he also worked in Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO. He was a key figure in developing India's civilian space program and missile development program, for which he came to be known as the Missile Man of India. He is the first man who developed our own missiles. India is such a country in the world who never attacked on neighboring country or neighboring nation. This is what the culture of the Indian society, or you can say that India. And so that if anybody, the enemy of our neighboring nations or enemies, those who wanted to attack on India for the security, for the protection of this country, for the protection of this nation, he has developed the missile, and that is was Indian missile. So that he was named as, or he is known as Missile Man of India. He was elected as the 11th President of India in 2002 and served in that capacity until 2007. He became so popular as a president that he came to be known as People's President. Beside all his, you can say that, protocols, he used to mix with the children's. He used to mix with the young boys and girls, not only to teach them, but to ignite them, but to inspire them. It was his vision that if these children's, the future of our nations, are in the schools, in the college, in the laboratories. He believed that if we ignite these people, this is the next generation, and these people, these students will be, you can say that, powerful. If they are given power, if they are given proper guidance, they will be definitely, you can say that, develop our nation, or they will contribute for the development of our nation. So it was his dream, it was his vision, and so that he was very popular among the people, and so he is known as People's President. He inspired the youth of India through his teaching and books. He not only teaches, he delivers many lectures, motivational lectures to the IITians, IIM students. He appeals. He appealed to these people. He appealed to these, you can say, scholars, experts, engineers, doctors that do something for the nation. So it was his appeal, and because of that, you know that he was very famous. Even his writing is also good. I'm going to mention his autobiography, Wings of Fire, which is translated into Marathi, that is Agnipank. Okay, he was conferred Bharat Ratna, the highest civilian award of India, for his noble service to the nation. He is the first man who became first, you can say that, president. Before, you can say that he was the first man who received Bharat Ratna and then became the president of India. If you see the history of India, Indian Bharat Ratna award history, most of the people, most of the president, they were awarded, they were conferred Bharat Ratna after the retirement of presidentship. So he is the first man, you can say that, from the history of India, who received first Bharat Ratna and then he became the President of India. He passed away on 27th July 2015. His best books are The Wings of Fire, India 2020, Ignited Minds and Turning Points. The poem Songs of Youth describes Dr. Kalam's vision of India as a developed nation characterized by health, happiness, peace and prosperity for all. He not only worked for his own community, he works for humanity. We have to go beyond caste, we have to go beyond culture, we have to go beyond our sect, beyond our religion, beyond our, you can say that, region. Then it is possible for us to become a powerful nation. As we know that India is such a country where there is a casteism, there is a religious bias, there is a sect bias, there are creeds, number of issues are there, social turmoils are there, social, you can say that, upheavals are there, and that is the hurdle in the development of nation. So he hopes that these should be avoided and we can complete our vision to become a developed nation. Let us see what he sees, what he describes in this poem. As a young citizen of India, armed with technology, knowledge and love for my nation, I realize small is a crime. I realize small aim is a crime. I will work and sweat for a great vision, the vision of transforming India into a developed nation. Powered by economic strength with value system, I am one of the citizen of the billions. Only the vision will ignite the billion souls it has entered into me. The ignited soul, compared to any resource, is the most powerful resource of the earth, above the earth and under the earth. I will keep the lamp of knowledge burning to achieve the vision developed India. If we work and sweat for the great vision of ignited minds, the transformation leading to the birth of vibrant developed India will happen. I pray the Almighty. May the divine peace with the beauty enter into our people, happiness and good health blossom in our bodies, minds, and souls. So, this is the first reading. It is not possible to explain within in a first reading. So, let us start with the second reading, or I am going to explain one by one. So, what he says in this poem, Songs of Youth. This is the song. This is the, you can say, that poem. It is addressed to the young people of India. It is addressed to the youngsters of India, youths of India, and poet says it is the songs of youth. Poet says it is the songs of youth. This poem is addressed. It is an appeal to the young people. It is, and you can say that request. It is, you can say that appeal to the youngsters of nation. As a young citizen of India, we, you, all the students, they are young citizen of India. All of us, those who are in between, or you can say that age between 18 to 35, because 18 to 35 age is the, you can say that age that is, you can psychologically clear that it is the youth, it is the young. And you can say that after that the old people, after that the young people, children, they cannot do for the nation, but the age between 18 to 35 can transform India into a powerful nation. So he appeals to the young citizen of India, armed with technology, knowledge, and love for the nation. How should be these people? How should be these youngsters? How should be these youths? They should be armed with technology. Armed, it doesn't mean that they're the, you can say that weapons. Armed with technology means the youngster, they should be given the technology, they should be given the knowledge of technology. They should be fully equipped with the technology. Technology should become the part of our life. Technology should become the part of the young people, youth, and that can transform knowledge and love for nation. Not only technology, there must be, the youth must have, the youth should have the knowledge and love for the nation. We used to take the pledge in our school days. India is my country, I love my nation. How many of people they can prove that they love their nation? We are loving our caste, we are loving our, you can say that religion, we are loving our sect, we are loving our language. Few times, sometime we love our nation. When the attacks are there from the, you can say that neighboring countries, when there is a match between, you can say that enemy, and especially Bharat and Pakistan, or you can say India and Pakistan, that time we feel proud of our nation. We feel love for our nation. So this type of love is not useful. This type of love is creating a kind of hatred. So here Kalam says that the man, the youth who is armed with the technology, knowledge, and love for the nation, love for my nation. It doesn't say that I'm a Hindu, I'm a Muslim, I'm Sikh, I'm so and so. He says that I am first Indian. I'm a first Indian. I should be a last Indian. First and last. I should be, my identity should be as an Indian. I should not be, should not be given any kind of other identity, other names. So he says that the youth, they should be given the training. They should be given some kind of, you can say that some kind of technological training, and they should have the value of their nations. I realize small aim is crime. We are living in the limited world. We have our limitations. We are always encircled by our needs and by our dreams and by our, you can say that we keep a low aim. What is our aim? To become a graduate, to get a good job, to get a good salary. This is our aim. So this is a keeping this is a small aim, very small aim, to get a good job, to get married and having children. A very small aim we are keeping. So beside that, Abdul Kalam says that you should not keep the small aim. We must have a vision. I'm going to define dream and vision. Different things are there. Dreams that comes in our, you can say that when you are asleep, and vision which does not allow you to sleep. If you are fulfilling your vision, you can't sleep properly. You cannot take sound sleep if you are a visionary man, if you are a visionary youth. So whatever we see in the dream is not a reality. Vision is different and dream is different. Dreams are always in our dreams are our unfulfilled desires. Visions which tireless efforts are needed to complete the dreams. Tireless, you can say that deeds are required to complete the dreams. But most of the people, most of the, you can say that youngster, they should have this type of you can say that purpose, aim in their life, big dream. See a big dream. Why not? Why we can't see the big dream? I want to be a good man, I want to be a prosperous man, I want to be a good businessman. There are a number of examples. They started their life from the zero and now they are heroes. You take the example of that Dhirubhai Ambani. He used to work on the petrol pump. Now he is one of the, his son became one of the richest billionaires of the, you can say that businessmen of the world. So because of the vision, because of the dream, he does not sleep. He getting early in the morning, starting working early in the morning and going late in the evening. This is what the efforts he has done. So that he became the powerful man, so that he became the rich man of the world. I will work and sweat for great vision. Without work, you cannot achieve your, you can say that dream, you cannot achieve your vision. Great vision. A vision should be a great vision. A vision should not be a small. We should have a great vision, big vision. I will work, and without work, you cannot achieve that. Greatness is not achieved without work. Nowadays, as on today's, if you take the position, if you take the situation of today's condition, you cannot get anything success or any kind of success without hard work. Not only work, we are working, but we are not doing hard work. Beside hard work, there is a need of smart work. Hard work, smart work, both should go simultaneously, hand in hand. Then it is possible for you to achieve the great vision. The vision of transforming India a developed nation. What is my vision? The vision of APJ Abdul Kalam is to transform India into a developed nation. He not only thinks about the common man, he thinks about top to bottom, bottom to top. Each and every citizen of the nation, each and every man and woman of the nation, children of the nation, from all the sections of the society, they should be transformed. Their life should be transformed. Their lifestyle, their living standards should be developed. When the nation is developed, when there is 100% education. We have not achieved that. The education is not reached up to the bottom level of the society, and because of that we are still, as on today, we are in a developing country. We are in the list of developing country. We are not developed nations. Why the other European countries, they are developed nations like Germany, Japan, America, Britain? Because there is a education rate, literacy rate is, you can say that 100%. 100%. And what about our country? We are only crossing 55, near about 60. 40% of the population, they are living under the below poverty line. So this is what the blot of the Indian society. We have to transform these people or these youth into transforming India, a developed nation, powered by economic strength with value system. What he expects? He expects from the youth that the nation should be powered by economic strength. economy of the nation. And this should be the strength with the value system. We have a valued, we have a, you can say that value system in our country. India is such a country in the world where there are so many thinkers, philosophers born. They had given gift to the people, but we are not accepting. We are divided these, you can say that philosophers, thinkers into our caste, into our religion, into our, you can say that into our sect, into regional bias. And these philosophers, they have given a gift, values, morals, which can help to develop the nation. Okay, we have to understand these values given by the philosophers, given by these, you can say that great man. Number of people are there. I have a time constraint. I have a limitations. I'm not going to give you the names of these philosophers, but you should know who are they. It's our duty that India is the history, India is the civilization, India is the, you can say, the largest civilization in the world. Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, I am going to give you an example. Largest civilization. Once upon a time, India was occupied, or in India there were universities. No other country had in those days, but India had universities. Nalanda, Takshila, Vikramshila. These are the names of the universities which were before Christ 500 years. It was working for the nation. It was working for the development of the nation. In those days, GDP was highest. But what about today's situation? We have to think about that. The economic strength, value system. Economic strength is not only limited. It should be value based. We should not exploit the rights of other people, the rights of the poor people. We should respect the poor. We should give some chances, opportunities to the poor people, needy people. We have to work on it. So in the next line, what he says, I am the one of the citizen of the billions. Only the vision will ignite the billion souls. It has entered into me. I am the one of the citizen of the billions. I represent billions people. When I go abroad, I am not a Muslim, I am not a Hindu, I am not so and so. Caste, creed, sect. I am only the representative, or I represent only India. I am the one of the citizen of the billion. Billion. As on today, if you think about the population of India, 135 crore, more than that. So I am one of them. I represent India in foreign countries, in abroad, as an Indian man. I am not belong to any caste. I am not belong to any religion, any particular religion. So when I represent India in foreign countries, I am the one of the citizen of billions. Only the vision will ignite the billion soul. If this vision is there, that I am belong to Indian billions, Indians, so this is the vision will ignite billion souls. It has entered into me. Now I am ignited. I am knowing all these things, that we should avoid these caste bias. We should avoid these, you can say that, religious bias. We should go beyond that. We should not think about the religion. There should not be bias based on caste, religion, sect, language, region. We have to go beyond that, and this is what enter into me. I am not belong to any religion. I am not you can say that representing any religious community. I am representing India, and that entered, that feelings of that Indianness came into my mind. It has touched my heart, so that it has entered into my mind. The ignited soul compared to any resource, the mind which is ignited, the soul which is ignited, inspired, compared to any other source is great. Ignited mind, ignited man, inspired man can transform. He is full of resources. He can do anything because he is ignited. He is haunted by the feelings, by the idea, by the issue, by the problem, and he can transform that problem into opportunity. We should have this ability, we should have this quality, we should have this, you can say that, power to transform problems into opportunity. If you think about the problems, you cannot find out the problem, you cannot find out the solution. If you concentrate on the solution, definitely it's a challenge that if you think about the solution, you will find out the solution. Most of the people, they are lingering around the problems so that they cannot get answer to the problem. So it is an appeal by Abdul Kalam that you should concentrate on the solution. Problems can be transformed into opportunities. Population is a problem, but Abdul Kalam said that the biggest population in the world can be a very powerful thing for us because we have a largest number of youth, and youth can be used as the resources. We have 100 students, and if the 100 students working for 10 days, 2 days, 5 days, a village can be transformed into, you can say that, clean. We are running so many years, we have been running this campaign, clean village. But what happens? We work for 10 days, we work for death. The habits is not transformed among the people. In the NSS camp, in the NCC camp, the students, the volunteers work. They devoted for 10 days, 5 days, 7 days. But we are unable to ignite other people. We are not able to, you can say that, make the habitual of the villagers, and so that villages are still, as on today, they are, you can say, living in that same slums like situation, slums like, you can say that, locality. So this is what the ignition, this is what the inspiration. People must be inspired by these youth, by these young people. The ignited soul, compared to any resource, is the most powerful resource on the earth. Ignited soul, ignited man, inspired man is the most powerful resource on the earth. He compares. He said that the powerful, what is the powerful? The ignited man, the ignited soul, the ignited youth, the inspired youth is a best, most powerful resource on the earth, above the earth and under the earth. See how you can say that his motivation is there. He says that the ignited man, the ignited woman, the ignited youth, the ignited youngster, they are the most powerful resource on the earth, above the earth and under the earth. I will keep the lamp of knowledge burning. Knowledge is essential. Without knowledge, it's not possible, because illiterate generation, illiterate youth can be there, they can be spoiled easily. The life can be spoiled easily. So that I will keep the lamp of knowledge burning. From my school days up to my, you can say that, up to my old age, I should become a student. A man should become a student forever. He should learn many more things. There is no bar of age. We are always giving the causes. Most of the time what happen? A student, they are giving causes that, sir, I belong to rural area, I am living in the village, we don't have other resources, we don't have so and so things. If you compare your life with the APJ Abdul Kalam, he was living in a very remote place, Rameshwaram. Think about his life. He was born in 1931. So what, before independence he was born, what was the situation? Can you imagine? But beside that, he became the president of India. He became the missile man. So he did not face any kind of difficulty. Do you think that he faced number of difficulties? He faced number of problems, but he transformed these problems into opportunities. He transformed these problems into opportunities, so that he appealed to the youngster, he appealed to the youth that you must learn. You must keep the lamp of knowledge burning. You must keep the lamp of knowledge burning. You must learn many more things wherever there are opportunities. Most of the people, we don't want to learn. We want to avoid certain things. We don't want to learn English. We don't want to learn so and so history, because we have to follow the chronology, years. 1947, something like that. In English is very difficult. We don't want to learn it. We have a fear, we have a phobia about the English. And so that we should not keep effort. What he expects, that you should do the continuous effort to learn these things. Small things can give you a number of things in your life, number of opportunities in your life. If you learn English from your mind, English is not skill. Again, I am telling, English is not a skill, it is a will. It is a willpower that can transform, that can change. Most of the students, they are blaming, they are giving reasons that I belong to rural area, we don't have modern amenities, we don't have modern technologies, but they are using hi-fi mobiles. They are not having these opportunities. They are telling me, they are asking me, they are giving some reasons why you can't speak English. Sir, we are brought up in a Marathi family. Our mother tongue is Marathi. I love my Marathi. I also love my Marathi. It doesn't mean. What is mean? Desire. What is mean? Willpower. So I will keep the lamp of knowledge burning to achieve the vision, developed nation. I will, you can say that, keep the lamp of knowledge burning. What is my goal? To achieve the vision, developed nation. If we work and sweat for great vision with ignited minds. What is the possibility? If we work and sweat for a great vision, big vision, with ignited minds, the transformation leading to the birth of vibrant, developed India will happen. If you work for all, if you do hard work, there is a possibility that the great vision with the ignited minds. We must have a ignited mind. We must inspired. We should be the place of inspiration. We should inspire the people. We should ignite the people. We should know the people. We should let them aware. Youth is like a furnace. Youth is like a furnace. In Marathi, bhatti, dagdagte bhatti. तरुण कुणाला म्हणायचं? Whom we can call? The youth. We can call the youth those who is having a strength, who is having a desire to do something, who is having the desire to transform something, who is having, you can say that, willpower to change something. We are born with some kind of, you can say that, purpose, aim. If you ask, who are we? What we are? Where we are? If you ask these three questions to yourself, you will come to know that why you are here. We only know that we are born only. But we are born with vision. We are born with some kind of intention. We came in this or on this earth with some kind of intention. Nothing happens without causes. There are certain causes. There are certain reasons behind that. So that we came on this earth with the vision, with the dream. We have to achieve something. We have to give something. We have to sacrifice something. So transformation is possible only through the ignited minds. And definitely one day India will be a developed India, a developed country, a vibrant country, developed country, dynamic country in the world. A famous, we have a large kind of ideology. We have a history, we have a culture, we have a, you can say, the philosophy. What not we don't have. We have everything, but we are not using that power. We are not transferring these things into opportunities. We are blaming. So stop the blaming. Situation is before our birth. When we came on this earth, the situation is existed before our birth. We have to adjust with these situations. We have to fight. We have to sacrifice. We have to struggle. Struggle is, you can say, that base of our life, should be the base of our life. Then it is possible to make our nation a powerful nation, a developed country in the world. I pray the Almighty. Kalam says, I pray the Almighty, God, Allah, Parameshwar, whomsoever it may be, Jesus. I pray the Almighty, may the divine peace with beauty enter into our people. May the divine peace, in Marathi we call it Shantata. Divine, it should be a divine. It should not be upper level peace. It should be divine, pure. It should be authentic. Maybe the divine peace with beauty enter into our people. The divine peace should enter into our people. Happiness and good health blossom in our bodies, minds and souls. Happiness. and good health. In the health sector also we are lagging behind. Number of things are there. Which can be discussed. We will discuss in the later when the actual classroom teaching will be there. We will discuss about that. So happiness and good health blossoms in our bodies, minds and souls. Sound body, there should be a sound body. Then there is sound mind. There is the possibility to live the sound mind. So bodily health, mental health, these are the part of our social life. So that we have to think about that. Abdul Kalam prays, he appealed to the Almighty, he appeals to the, you can say that God, that may the divine peace with beauty enter into our people, happiness and good health blossoms in our bodies, minds and souls. We have to think about this. This is a very revolutionary kind of poem, very simple poem in which you will find out poet appeals to the youngster, poet appeals to youth of the nation that we have to become a developed nation with your efforts, not only efforts, hard efforts we have to do together, then and then it is possible to make our country a powerful nation in the world. So let us see in the glossary and notes. New words are there. Armed, I already explained. Equip, then visions, an image conceived in mind about the future of the something, in this case India. Transforming, changing, making progress. Billions, denoting a quality of 1000 million. Entities, ignite, light up, inspire. Resources, wealth, vibrant, dynamic, progressive, almighty, God, blossom, grow. So once again, you can see that choose the appropriate answer and complete the following sentences. Number 1, the poet visualized the great vision as dash dash of India, young citizen of India. Okay. Next one. Second, Dr. Kalam, great vision is to see India as a powerful nation, a developing nation, developed nation, rich nation, obviously developed nation. Number third, Dr. Kalam wants to transform India powered by A. Economic strength with value system, technology, knowledge and love, divine peace with beauty, work and sweat. Obviously A. Economic strength and value system. Number 4, the poet wants to keep dash dash to achieve the vision, the fire, the desire, the lamp of knowledge, the lamp of wisdom, obviously the lamp of knowledge. Number 5, the poet's praise to the people of India, almighty, goddesses, politician, almighty. Okay, with this I'm going to stop here. I tried my level best to make it simple in a limited, you can say that time of period, because if I have to teach this poem into classroom, at least 2 hours lectures I will require, but due to some time constraint and some problems, technological problems are there, so I have finished this poem here. With this, I hope you like this. If you like my video, if you like my teaching, please comments and please help me to improve my teaching and learning. And if you like my videos, kindly I request you, please share to many more students. Ask them to, you can say that subscribe my channel, give comments. I expect your comments will definitely help me to improve my teaching. With this note, I will stop here. I take your leave. Thank you very much.